what
on
Arvind
go.
Kejriwal
I'm
is.
Okay, or right on cue, you've said Arvind Kejriwal is a symbol of hope, and I have with us at this hour Jasmine Shah, a young politician who actually worked hands-on, steered the Punjab election campaign. So congratulations to you, Jasmine. It is a big moment. And Sanjay, you came just like you live a long life, because Sanjay Baru was just making the argument that Kejriwal represents hope for a younger generation more than the Prime Minister does today. So big, huge victory in my home state of Punjab. Well done. But what do you attribute to? It's clearly an anti-establishment inqilab vote, as Mr. Kejriwal tweeted. But all of your party mates have today all been saying that this is the arrival of Kejriwal on the national stage. Now it's Kejriwal for PM as a contender in 2024. How do you see the national impact, Jasmine, of what we have seen happen in Punjab?
Barka, thank you. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. You asked me two questions. First, what do we attribute the Punjab tsunami to? And second, where does AAP go from here? Let me take the first question first. It is an overwhelming mandate. Let me say this is not some kind of a tactical brilliance because of which AAP has won today. This is almost once in a century moment for a state like Punjab when such a large mandate has been given, and therefore signifies a break from the past. What is the past? The past was that for the last 50 years, two parties were, switching their seats in power. People would be fed up from with one party, they would give power to the other party. They'll again be fed up with one and go to the other. And the issues of the people have been festering and been neglected for decades. You talk about the drug mafia, you talk about the sand mafia, liquor mafia. So Punjab has these long-standing issues which no political party seemed to be able to move the needle on. And today, we fought obviously Punjab elections in 2017, but perhaps we were at that time not able to convince the people of Punjab that we are ready for Punjab, which is not the case in 2022, where people have seen us running a very mature and an effective government in Delhi, which we call the Kejriwal model of governance. People believed Kejriwal model of governance. People believed that AAP today, more than any other party in India, stands for change. It stands from a break. It stands for a break from the past, and it stands for the aspirations that youth have for this country. The youth are not interested in Mandir Bana Diya, Samshan Ghat. These are the kind of narratives that are dominating election campaigns everywhere. We are the only people who are talking about jobs. We're talking about quality schooling, education, healthcare, hospitals. So I think the new India really identifies with Aam Aadmi Party, and we were able to set a base. Our cadre, our people, our volunteers have worked very hard to go to corners, absolute corners and villages and pins of Punjab, and that is where that is what has resulted in this victory today.
Can I ask you, is all the Aam Aadmi Party leaders we've been talking to all day, and you haven't answered that part of the question, and I agree with you on Punjab. It's an anti-establishment, anti-politics as usual, a hopeful vote, as Dr. Baru was saying, and you're absolutely right about the mood in Punjab. What does this do to the national aspirations of the Aam Aadmi Party? It isn't a hop, skip, and jump, as you know from being in politics, to go from one state to the next. It's a long, arduous process. Punjab took you 2 tries. And Punjab is a unique state, and you're not facing the Modi juggernaut there as you would in other states. That's another key difference. Firstly, do you now see Mr. Kejriwal as a natural aspirant and as a natural prime ministerial contender in 24, Jasmine?
Barka, I don't think as a party that is what motivates us. Neither Mr. Arvind Kejriwal nor even people like me, ordinary volunteers and other leaders of the party. What we really wanted at all points in time is to really fix the issues of India that no party has dared to dream and fix reliably for the last 75 years. Today, we have a vision for what the government-funded education system should look like. We have a vision for what the healthcare system should look like. We have a vision for women empowerment. When we announced 1,000 rupees direct cash transfers for women, there was a deep-seated thinking behind that idea. When we announced free bus rides in Delhi, it was about women empowerment. So I think as Aam Aadmi Party has matured substantially, we have a track record of delivery. And we are very confident that across the country, people are now going to demand the Kejriwal model of governance. Either their current parties deliver them on these issues that matter to their day-to-day lives, else Aam Aadmi Party is today an option across India. And I think this is the message that Punjab sends. Obviously, Aam Aadmi Party will have to put in a lot of work on the ground. Today, I mean, we made a great start in Goa. We are very proud about that. In Uttarakhand, we didn't have a great show. So as a party, we will need to invest in our cadres, build our base, but we are ready to do that wherever the people of India, be it from Kerala to Jammu and Kashmir, from Assam to Gujarat, wherever people of India feel that they want to go for the Kejriwal model of governance, Aam Aadmi Party is willing to fight the good fight.
Well, those are your shots of your sort of two seats that you were
Mumbai.
leading in Goa. Is that Mumbai or is it Goa? Well, we've actually merged all the
I think
celebration
Goa.
shots together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was Goa. Nilanjan Sarkar of the CPR, Center for Policy Research, well-known psephologist, is with us. Jasmine, you finally, in journalism, it would call burying the lead. Your last sentence was the headline. The AAP you now see as an alternative everywhere, a possible alternative everywhere in India, but you recognize, of course, that it has to be built bottom upwards. It's not actually going to be easy. I want one comment from you. I know you're here with us for a little bit longer, but I want to open up your comments for our panel. One last question to you, then I'll go to the others. We were talking earlier about whether Mr. Kejriwal in some ways has borrowed and learned from the Modi playbook, strong cult of personality, welfareism, a certain kind of emphasis on nationalism, and no aversion to a kind of Nehru, to a kind of soft place for religion in the political imagery of his politics. What would you say to that, Jasmine?
I think there cannot be any comparison, I would say, between the operating styles of Mr. Modi and Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. And I don't say that because I work with Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. Here's a leader who has genuinely believed in saying that when he says that, education and healthcare is what is going to transform India. We have been given only 5 to 7 years of an opportunity. Today, nobody debates the fact that AAP has done a wonderful work in education for and has set up a model for the people of this country. Mr. Modi has been in politics for how many years? Can anybody say that he has fixed the government schools of even one state? Can anybody say that he has built a world-class healthcare system, be it primary healthcare of mohalla clinics or tertiary healthcare? So I think we see the agendas and the priorities of these two leaders are very, very different. Obviously, we respect the sentiments of the people. We are Deshbhakt. We don't deny. I mean, our definition of Deshbhakti is different from what BJP's macho Deshbhakti is. For us to stand by the people of this country, to make sure that the goods of governance reaches the last mile. The poorest of the poor today sees in Arvind Kejriwal as a person who they can trust, who they can believe in, and that is for us true Deshbhakti. That we said that today, and you must have seen that Arvind Kejriwal ji said that हमें बाबा साहेब अम्बेडकर और भगत सिंह का सपना पूरा करना है. What is उनका क्या सपना था? उनका सपना था कि अमीर हो या गरीब हो, be it the child of a car or a cab driver or that of a judge or an officer, they should have an equal crack at opportunities of life, and that will happen only if you make India's healthcare and education system at par with that of the developed world. Only Arvind Kejriwal believes and is working on that dream.